Well, hello. I don't usually record these on my laptop, but I don't usually record these videos anyway. This is kind of a sort of a first impressions video. I'm going to show you a pen that you won't see it reviewed probably for a month or two yet. I need to review a few of Chris Rapp's pens that he sent me, and I have some rodeos I want to do, and I have some notebooks and such I want to do. But I was just curious about this pen. We'll talk about her in a second. Just curious about this pen enough that I looked on YouTube and discovered there are no videos on it. So as of this recording, I may be the only video on YouTube with anything to say about this pen at all. Now, hopefully by the time I actually film my review, which like I've said before, I always like to write with pens and play with them for a while before I actually review. I like to play with pens for a while before I review them because then I have stuff to say about them. And you know, there are some pens that I still think, even after a couple of months, ooh, I should have waited a little longer. Visconti Homo Sapiens, you're one of them. We'll talk about that someday when I do an update. But anyway, this is a 1970s pen, I believe. Kind of an interesting case. I'll show it to you better when I have my real camera, but I'm just using the laptop camera. It's a Markant pen. Now, Markant, you may have never heard of. That is an East German brand. Now, I'll tell you the truth. When I was a kid, East Germany was a thing. And I'm not old. I'm only 40, so nowhere near old. But East Germany existed then. It's a pen and pencil set. Now, I always had my impressions of communist creations. We'll look at the East German Trabant as an example of what I think of communism. But this is a surprisingly nice pen so far. Now, the ballpoint, thank goodness, Uber Pens sent me a refill with it because it actually has the original East German refill in it, which I'll probably have to do some close-ups. I might even save. That sounds like I'm a hoarder, but I might save it. But it does not write at all. And, you know, if it's been sitting around since the 70s, it doesn't surprise me. So, luckily I was sent a refill. Now, I don't really normally review ballpoint pens. I do have one on my list, but that's more of a being friendly to a student than anything. I also have a fountain pen. This is the Markant. The number on it is M7720, which is apparently like some other pen, which when I do the real review, you'll see it. But it's a aluminum body. There's apparently some silver in it, which also surprises me with an East German communist pen, but whatever. Very deep texturing on this, which is kind of nice. I like that. It looks like a stainless steel pen. So far, what's been bothering me is this really sharp little step from the section up to the body. Has a fairly plain stainless steel nib, but what's kind of interesting about the stainless steel nib is how flexible it is. I mean, Noodlers should be this flexible. This is a really flexible stainless steel nib. Now I'm kind of scared to push it because I'm afraid it won't push back, and then, you know, where are you going to find an East German nib now? But it's been very surprising. Now the pen is meant to be a cartridge pen. Of course, being me, I had to put a converter in it. This is I don't remember actually what brand converter this is. It was just an extra converter I had laying around, but it's a standard size converter, and it's working just fine. Of course, I had to fill it with Noodler's Nikita red ink because communism. But yeah, so all in all, a very interesting pen, snap cap. So sometime in the next few months, I will record a video on this pen. I'll just say right now, I was in 8th grade when the Berlin Wall fell. I've always kind of had a strong interest in what went on behind the Iron Curtain, mostly because if you knew me in person, knew more about me, you'd know that I have Polish heritage. I have a Polish last name. No, I'm not pure 100% Polish, if there is such a thing. Definitely, I'm American because I have heritage from all kinds of different countries, but my last name is Polish. So I've always kind of had a soft spot for Poland and in extension, the countries behind the Iron Curtain. I mean, this winter I got into a show called Deutschland 83 because it was about life East and West Germany. And I grew up with East and West Germany. I grew up not hiding under desks, terrified of nuclear war, because we were past that by the time I was in school. But I grew up with a lot of teachers telling us that, the Soviets and the USSR were the enemy and they were out to kill us all. So, when the Iron Curtain fell, and of course, I even remember, Lech Wałęsa was a big deal as a kid. As a little kid, I identified with him. These are all things that are part of my history. So when I saw an East German pen, I had to buy it. And I won't say it's the best pen I've ever had, but I will say it's surprisingly nice. So look forward to a review somewhere down the road. I won't promise when, but I will guarantee, unless I drop the bottle and can't replace it, that I will be using Nikita red ink from Noodlers. So I hope that was interesting, and look forward to a review on that down the road. And hopefully, I really hope, by the time I review this pen, I am not the only reviewer on YouTube with a Markant, sorry, I gotta look up the number, with a Markant M7720 fountain pen. So thank you for listening. We'll see you later.